Welcome back to Argentina. Welcome to the ranch, my friends. Look at this. The alfalfa is ready to be cut. So we need to get on that right away so we can stop buying the feed. And then we are going to need to get some equipment today because we have the mower over here, but we don't have a tedder, a rake, or a baler. I don't know what we're going to get. Let's see what we can find. First, let's see if there's anything good on sale that we can use. We are looking for there's a couple of balers. Those are not cheap. We'll keep those in mind though. And we are not, so far we're not seeing, okay, nothing there we can use. All right. So first, I guess most expensive thing's going to be our mower. I mean our baler. So question is, what kind of baler do we want to get? Do we want to get square or round? Let's see. Let's sort our price range here. Now, since this is equipment, we don't have to stick with our cloths and all of that kind of stuff. So, from a square baler standpoint, I would say these four right here would be in our choice range, I think. And I've used this one. It covers 180 to 240. That does the same. They all three do the same size. They all take the same horsepower. Now this guy takes a lot less horsepower and does the smaller bales. And it's half the price. Smaller bales means they can be handled by hand, carried on the cart. Smaller carts, easier. But there's going to be more of them. From a round baler, this is the cheapest option, and it covers all the sizes. We have the cloths, but it just does one size, and that does several sizes. So really, probably these first three in the round baler would be our choice. $55, $70, $100. Do we want to go with the round bales? I think from a cost perspective, this is going to be the best deal. Our tractor is strong enough for that, right? 150. So we'll get this guy. We'll get the dropper. We'll go ahead. This is equipment that we need all the time. We'll buy this. Alright, so now the next thing, let's look at our tethers. So there's a couple of ways we can go with this. The kind of a non-traditional way would be to get a windrower and windrow everything, and then use a small tether that also windrows to maintain that. And there's also some of these tethers like this will also windrow and TED at the same time. 8.5, 8.5, 8.7 for the New Holland. Now personally, when it comes to these, I personally like this one right here because it has this boundary spreading system. And what that is it's got a, if you turn this, get this option on, it adds this part right here that will come down on one side, and you can use that along the outside of your property, and it'll keep from blowing the tedded grass outside of your property line. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get that one, and it's just a 60 horsepower, so we got that covered. And then for the windrowing, these are really cheap. They're small, 3 meters. I'd like something a little bit bigger. That one's 4. $7.8. That's 7 and 7. That one's 8.5. Let's get that one. I haven't tried that particular mod before, so it's new to me. We will see how it does. All right, so I'm going to get the store to deliver our equipment, so if you'll hang on a minute, I'll bring you right back once we have all the stuff here at the farm. All right, they've dropped it all off right here, so you can see that's a pretty good size piece of equipment right there. Each one of those are pretty big. All right, now where is, oh, the tractor's down at the wood shop. drive down there and go get our tractor. We had cleared a few more trees out, but it's still, there's a lot down here to do. The first thing we're going to need to do is get this grass mowed. See what we got. Alright, sorry about that interruption. You didn't see it, but I got a text from my daughter asking a question. Alright, let's get this mower. And let's see what we can get done here. Alright, I will definitely do either a jump cut or a time lapse on this for you, so you don't have to see the whole boring thing. All right, that took a while with this small mower. That's something we are going to have to upgrade in the future. Let's drop it here out of the way. Now let's go get some of our new equipment, like the tedder. When I was a kid, we didn't call them tedders. I didn't know what a tedder was when I first heard it in this game. When I was growing up, we called it a fluffer. You know, I mean, that's what it did. Here in Texas, it's so hot. You can cut grass in the morning and bale it in the afternoon, and on occasion you go overnight, and sometimes you have to they would have to run the fluffer over it. See, that comes down and that protects it from going outside the boundary. Oh. No, didn't mean to turn that person on. I meant to get the steering assist on. And turn on the tedder and lower the tedder. Now that kind of puts some stuff. See how it puts it outside your work area? But this boundary spreader keeps it from going outside the line there. So this will be pretty quick. I'm probably not going to do any cuts here, as long as I can keep thinking of something to talk about. You know, I was thinking about when I was cutting the grass, like how bad of a mistake I made with that field grass over there. I mean, the point of planting the field grass was so that it would be ready at least a month before the alfalfa, so I could start feeding a month early. But it didn't work out that way. I'm not quite sure. It says it's ready to harvest, but then it says that it is, like, if you come over here and look, 4 out of 7 on the growth, but ready to harvest. I mean, and that don't look like a whole lot of grass there, so I don't know. I don't think it takes 7 months to grow, but I may try cutting it later off camera and see what it looks like, because I can tell you this, just as soon as I can, I'm going to expand this alfalfa field over and turn it into, and expand it over there so we have a larger alfalfa field. Sorry about that. My coughing is out of control today. I think I need to add a button to my recording software that'll let me hit it and mute the mic. Because if I mute the mic by lifting it up on my headset, well, you'll hear it. Maybe I could turn that off in the headset. I'll have to check that too. All right, how much more? Okay, not that much more left. We can do this. I forgot to lock in on the GPS. And once we grow, we're going to have to get bigger equipment and stuff. Probably at some point we'll work up to having that big chrome mower. And let it do its swathing, and then we can use a smaller tedder to ted the windrows. And then we can just bale it after that. And we'll have to see about, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use TMR for these or not. It's my understanding that that really doesn't affect the price or the value, but we'll have to see. We'll have to do some comparison. TMR is pretty easy to make, just need hay and silage, and then so for silage you would just cut the grass and windrow it, bale it and wrap it, and then just wait on it to ferment, and then you'd be good. So like in the beginning, you'd probably like do half of this field in hay, and then do the other half in silage. But we got to remember that we're going to have to feed the sheep too. Now where can we put this that'll be out of the way? Maybe we can just back it up kind of right in here maybe. Alright, the next job, the windrow. This is a bigger width, so this shouldn't take very long. Let's see what it's going to take. Now again, back when I was a kid, we didn't call it a windrower either. called it a rake, because it was raking up all the hay into rows. What's this? Oh, no, that's for the forks. Okay. Let's back up here a little bit. Can't go too far, though. Get our steering assist on. Get on the field. Do I have to turn on the windrower? No, because it just gets pulled. Well, that's making a pretty good sized windrow. Excuse me. Dang it, I'm out of coffee. I have to start drinking water. I like my water filtered through ground coffee beans. All right. Yeah, definitely going to join these two fields together. Might go ahead and do that after this cutting. Maybe cut the grass over there and see if there's anything comes off of it that we can salvage out of that. And then we can try plowing it up and seeing what it because we're really going to need, as we grow, we're going to need more and more grass. My plan is to buy that field over there and turn that into our main grass field, and then this will become the main part of our farm until we outgrow it. I don't know how many cows and sheep we're going to end up with on our farm or our ranch. My goal is to get at least 1,000 of each. But, well, actually, I guess that's probably, I hadn't really thought about it, because with the realistic livestock mod, you've got you really can have like a breeding program where you have top quality animals Now the idea that I'm thinking of for the sheep is that it's going to be a double, in that we're going to take and have a breeding program where we sell sell some of the sheep, and we keep enough sheep that we make wool too. But the main purpose of the sheep is going to be for the wool. One of the tricks is going to be to be able to basically have a breeding pen set up where we have the bulls and the heifers, or the cows, and then once they get pregnant we can move them to the, I guess you could call it the birthing pen, the brood pen, the calf pen. I don't know what the correct term is. And then keep them separated until they have their babies, and then put them back into the breeding pen for the next time around, and just kind of keep rotating. And if we then we can kind of build the population of our cows as we get quality heifer calves, and then at some point we can start selling the excess of those. I don't know where to put this either. Just gonna put it right here. Need to get some more cleaned out down there and put a barn in. That's what I need to do. Alright, what size? We got 125, 150, or 180. I guess just go with the bigger ones. Bigger ones for now means less handling, fewer bales. Automatic drop. Let's pick up this loose stuff that's off to the side here, and then swing back around. Anybody want to make any guesses on how many bales we're going to get? I think it's interesting that it's registering as alfalfa hay and not just regular hay. That's cool. Oh, I didn't turn on automatic drop. So I have that mod that stops the baler, stops the tractor when the baler's full. Makes it a lot easier than trying to back up after you miss it and paying attention and all that kind of stuff. Okay, tight turn, tight turn, tight turn. Are we going to get that little bit? Oh, oh, oh. Is that just a tractor tire print? Or is that some more? That's just a tractor tire print. I mean, that little mistake that I made of turning that guy on by accident cost me $2. That's ridiculous. Shouldn't even got charged for that. And so far we've got 2 bales, and we haven't even gone around all the way. Three bales. 3 of the bigger bales. What are these bales? 9,000 liters? Is that normal? That's an awful lot of hay in one bale. Okay, not that much more left to do, I guess. Yeah, when I was growing up too, the other thing that when it came to hay baling, we used the small square bales, and it was like years when I was a kid, like 6, 7, 8 years old, is when I remember the hay getting cut and stuff, and using the square bales. And then, like I've said before, my mom worked for like 20 years at a feed store. She worked in the office doing bookwork, keeping all the accounting stuff and all the charge accounts up to date and everything. And she started working there when I was started school, and at first when I was in kindergarten, she only worked like a half a day, and that was before she was working in the office. Then basically this feed store was a family owned and operated feed store, and it's 2 brothers, and the feed store had been started by their mom and dad, and their dad had passed, and they took over the feed store, and their mom was still around. Their kids had been raised in that store. They were raised in that store. And so they told my mom, they said, look, we've raised our kids in here. There's plenty of people to keep an eye on him while he's here. Just after school, go pick him up, bring him back, finish out your day, and then y'all go home at the end of the day, and we'll all take care of him. And I have to say that I learned a lot there. I learned a lot about how to work. I learned a lot about farming and ranching, and learned a lot about people and just a lot of different things. And I think I wouldn't trade that experience for anything else. I'm not sure what the point of all that. Oh, yeah, the small square bales. For the longest time, everything was small square bales. They would have a covered trailer full of small square bales that would be local baler had produced, and they had a deal with, and he'd bring a trailer full, keep it full all the time, and they'd sell it, and they'd get a percentage, he'd get his percentage, and you know, typical business stuff. But it wasn't until I was a teenager till started seeing big round bales. Problem is that on a lot of the smaller farms, you know, it's difficult to handle these large round bales. A lot of the farms did not have, on their tractors, they didn't have the front end loader stuff, and so when it came to moving the round bales around, they would have a bale fork that was a 3-point hookup on the back of the tractor, and basically they would move one bale at a time, and that was it. So that was my experience with it. So it's a personal experience, I guess you could say. All right, I could dump that partial, but I think I'll just leave it in there for the next time. I'll go put this baler actually, if I'm going to do the field grass like I said, I should turn off the automatic drop so I can unload the finished bale and close the back. I don't want to waste that good alfalfa. That's another thing in this game. There's not really a difference in the nutritional value between hay and alfalfa and stuff. It's mainly how much yield you get. And that's one of the things that at the feed store that I remember the most was that alfalfa was like a premium because it had like a higher protein and that kind of thing. Better nutritional value. Now, is this the partial? Yeah. I'm going to go drop that in with the sheep. And we'll put as much as we can in the sheep and the cow barn, and then we'll set the rest off to the side. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I've got that lazy distribution, I think is still there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. And then lazy cow feed and lazy sheep feed. And then we'll just do this normally. Okay. That filled that up. Let's go get another one. See if we can see how much it takes to fill it up. And sheep pasture is full, and there's a bale there. Okay, but we'll drop another bale when that one disappears. Now let's go take care of the calves. Let's see how much they'll take. Whoa, that looked like a rough spot there. Maybe I need to smooth that out. That took that one. Let's get another one. Let's go for that one over there. Crazy driver. Crazy Skeeter driver. All right, let's is this one going to fill it up, or is it going to take another one? What do you think? Well, okay, about half of that's gone. Okay, friends, I think we can call that an episode now. I'll go off camera and I will collect the rest of those bales and I'll go ahead and prepare the land again, fertilize and stuff, and then I'll cut this and see what it does. And when you come back, I'll give you the results. So I thank you, friends, for stopping by and hanging out with me while we do all this. And appreciate it if you haven't already, if you'd subscribe to the channel. And if you would, if you like it, what you've seen, if you'd hit the like button. Have some comments if you'd like to see something done different or some other information. Was thinking during this episode about maybe creating a short that kind of took everything we've learned up to this point and kind of bullet pointing it and making like a tip sheet kind of thing. Excuse me. That we can share with other people and see how that goes. So I hope you have a good rest of your day, and like Cousin Skeeter likes to always say, I'll see you later.